Come on. Oops. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Faces Friday. I'm Jacob Hackett. This is the last Faces Friday, if you can believe it, for 2021. Are you in the mood to get off to a good start? Beginning tomorrow, being it's New Year's Eve. Do you want to set goals for yourself that you thought were impossible? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to live a better you? I have just the person here with me today to talk about that. He has the Keep Calm to Run the Best You program running out of Atlantic County. He's done several fundraisers for the South Jersey Field of Dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, he was one of our co-hosts for the Faces for Autism Love streaming telethon this past March. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tadris Parker.
Woo! Whoa! Thank you so much, Jacob, for having me as that last face for Faces for the year, man. Closing out 2021. I'm excited to be that last face on this show, man. Thank you so much.
You're my last face for 2021.
That's so awesome, man. I really appreciate that, and it's a great opportunity to be alive. You know, we have a lot of stuff that's been going on this last year and a half, 2 years, but we're still breathing. We still have our life that we have right now, and the best thing to do is set some goals. You talked about setting up 2022. Now's the time to really be, sit down while you got a couple of days off and start writing some stuff down that you want to achieve, man, in this upcoming year.
Exactly, Tadris. So I'll start like this. For those that don't know you, give them a little background on you.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Central Jersey with my mom and my grandmother, ended up in some foster care. That's how I ended up in South Jersey. But I grew up a major basketball fan, right? Loved to play basketball, loved Michael Jordan. Thought I was going to be a basketball star, but I'm too short. Not only that, growing up with two females, I never really got a chance to play sports when I was younger. So I didn't start learning to really play until later in my high school years. And by that time, I wasn't good enough to make the team. But I started running cross country, right, to get myself in shape for the tryouts in the first place. And I was the last person to come in. I was real bad at cross country. Well, coming down here in South Jersey, I didn't know that there was a bus system. So since I took up running, I got a part-time job. I'm like senior in high school, or in my 11th grade, going to my senior year. I got a job over the summer, and I was walking and running and riding my bike back and forth to the Shore Mall. And my foster parents brought me into the room. They thought that I was on drugs because I lost all this weight, right? I started the beginning of my senior year. They said, "Man, you look real good as a cross country star. You're going to probably, if you keep up this rate, you're going to be the most improved runner," right? But unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in cross country that year because my grades wasn't that good the year before. So kind of fast forward throughout my adulthood, anytime I would gain weight, I would go back to running again to help me lose the weight. Life happens, had several kids, whatever. Fast forward to 2009, my wife had our last kid, and I just ballooned, right? I was the biggest I ever was, and I ruptured my patella tendon on my knee playing basketball in my driveway. And when I went to the doctor, I got on the scale. He told me I was 217 pounds. And with me trying to pivot and make a basketball move, carrying that extra weight snapped my ligaments that holds the kneecap in place. My kneecap was floating, and I was like, I'm gonna heal myself. I'm gonna get back in shape, and I'm gonna do running right, and to keep the weight off. And in 2012, the end of 2012, going into 2013, I became a health coach with a nutrition company. They said, wrap the business around things you enjoy doing. And we run half marathons and we bring people with us and celebrate them on social media. And at that time, I said that I can't run a half marathon, but I can train people to run their first 5K. I can teach them what to eat, give them a schedule to follow and everything like that. But since then, I have been able to do like close to 20 half marathons. And these medals right here is representing not only the races that I've been able to do, but it represents the people that I've helped along the way.
Yeah, and going into 2022, we need to start helping people get in the right mindset. Mindset, because if you're in the wrong mindset, and we're starting a new year tomorrow, it's not going to be pretty. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying just to plain and simple eat healthier, you gotta, as they say, get your head in the game and in the right game.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to that, I want to touch on something real quick.
Sure.
And even ask you, have you heard this before? People like to say things like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till 2021 is over. It's been a horrible year, right? Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I've heard that come out of many people's mouths.
I can't wait. 2020 is the worst. I can't wait till 2020 is over. Guys, it's only a matter, it's all about, like you said, getting your head into the game, because no matter what, quote unquote, the year is, problems will always come and go, right? And so how we actually deal with that is working on having some goals that we are going to be able to make better decisions day in and day out. Now, there are some things that we can't control, right? But even if a person got into a car accident, maybe there were some things that they could do, right? Maybe leave a little bit earlier, right? There are some things that we can control. And the one thing that we can control most is our mind. You might not be able to control everybody else, but we got to be able to control our positivity and our mindset on things. So sometimes the end of the year is a good opportunity for you to reflect. Don't live too much in the rearview mirror, but in order for you to have a better year going forward, it's all about, like you're saying, with your mindset and actually sitting down, writing out goals that you can achieve, not all the way in 2022, but maybe write down something that you can achieve in the next month. Write down something that you can achieve over the next 3 months. And when you have those short-term goals, it's like, all right, what do I need to do today to get to that goal?
Exactly. And you've probably heard of this. There's an acronym out there. It's the word is SMART. Measurable, attainable, reachable. T might be trainable, but there is an acronym, and you have to be, as I'm saying here, smart, because you like we're saying, 2020, I'm not discounting anyone and saying that was a horrible year, because we all lived a life of lockdown and everything else. That was bad because nobody knew what they were walking into 1 minute to the next. I'm not disagreeing with anyone there. But 2021, as you see, we made changes. There were vaccines. There are ways you can turn your life around. 2022, let's make it be even more less about COVID. Let's get back to living our normal lives. Live your life, people. You only get one of them.
You know something too, man. Like, listen, I purchased the home in 2020. I also bought a newer car in 2020, right? And so I'm saying those things to say that there, we both agree that there's people that's losing their lives. You know, there's some serious things, obviously, and mental health is a serious thing. Like I've been doing some work for races, for communities to help support mental health. You know, COVID has wrecked a lot of people mentally because they may box themselves in their house. But listen, in 2020 and 2021, right? I've gotten some members who actually we would not have gotten if they kept doing the rat race. And so the rat race is this person is going all over the country, not only the country. He said that he's been able to work out with his wife a lot more. They've been doing spin classes together. They do our run group together. They've been doing dance together. He said, when I was working full time, I would have been in Japan. I would have never been able to be here. When I work in New Jersey, even though I live in Margate, I would have to drive to Trenton 2.5 hours away. So the space in which we're living now, it's about making adjustments and being a little flexible and pliable, right? And for some people, they realize, oh, I can actually work from home and still make my check and spend time with my family. So there's always a good way to look at things, a positive, a positive spin on things. What do you think about that?
Oh, I've always said that, thought that, because in Tadris, I know you can agree with me on this because we're both coming out of the same mind, is that people are too quick, and I have said this for years, people are too quick to jump to negativity. Too quick. And like you said, there are ways now. Hey, I worked virtually for a year, loved every minute of it, but I'm sorry that things changed within whom I was working with and for, that the program had to go back in person. Am I sad I lost my opportunity to work? Sure. Uh, did I enjoy what I did? Yes. Could I still do what I was doing then in the future? Certainly.
Yeah, I just think we learned a lot, and we're going to continue to learn. It's all a work of progress. And one thing that we tried as a Keep Calm and Run to the Best You program, we actually tried. There was a couple of weeks out of the whole COVID situation, we probably only stopped meeting twice. And the reason why, not that we were being defiant or anything like that, but because we train outside, we were able to keep a nice social distance, right? Even during the lockdown, you saw families walking together. That was a beautiful thing in my neighborhood. I seen husbands, wives, and their children walking together. That's something I didn't see before the lockdown. But for our group, we went virtual for a couple of weeks. I was holding the phone up, and I was like, everyone. The connection was a little spotty just because we were all in different areas. But within we did that for like a week and a half. And the end of the second week, because we meet twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday at Stockton University and some place in town, either in Galloway, Absecon. We've gone to Ocean City, Summers Point. We've been changing up Thursdays so that we can keep it fresh for ourselves. And but the end of the second week, we end up, even though we were on our phones virtually, we end up meeting at the same spot. And we were like, you know what? We just appreciate each other. We love each other. As long as we keep our social distance, we still can come out here and train. And we didn't miss a beat. Listen, I kept our members. Our members did not gain the quarantine 15. They didn't gain weight over the quarantine because we continue to train for races as if. Like the races may have been canceled, but they moved to virtual. So we just kept training as if the race was live. And then we ran it on the day that it was designed, and we got our virtual medal. We got our medal sent to us in the mail. And that's why, between my philosophy of eating real food and continuing to train with a purpose, because these races sometimes they support Faces for Autism. In fact, in 2021, I did a virtual Faces for Autism race, right? And I built a little program around that. Andrea Ali signed up to it. We had Julie I can't pronounce her last name right now, so I don't want to mess it up. She's from Faces for Autism. She took my 8-week program, and she got one of these medals too for finishing the Faces for Autism virtual race that I put together.
Right, I remember that. And you've done tremendous work around the community with not only Faces, but the Field of Dreams, as I mentioned. You did your keep calm to run the best you did. You've done fundraisers for us. I'm a part of that as well. I know this is not on the paper, Tadris, but um, going into 2022, I think one of the big things that needs to be had, and it doesn't have to start tomorrow because tomorrow's New Year's Day. Healthy eating. I know as well as you do that healthy eating is a big thing. And, I just heard on the news that the average life expectancy of a person is dropping by 2.5 years because of the amount of obesity that is in this country, because people have XYZ because they, as you were saying, they're not being healthy, they're eating whatever they feel like. So what's your opinion on the healthy eating aspect, and how can people?
So one of the reasons why I ballooned up to 217 pounds is because while my wife was pregnant, I was eating everything under the roof, right? You would have thought that I was pregnant, right? So I ruptured my patella tendon. I became a health coach for a nutrition company in 2013, and it got me started on the process of eating healthier. I no longer work for the nutrition company just because as I continued to do my research, I just found it necessary that if I was going to eat anything that had a label on it, that it should only have ingredients that I can pronounce. So like meal replacement shakes, stuff like that, in order to make them taste good, they had a lot of fillers and chemicals and different things that I couldn't pronounce. So I tried a round of what we call Whole 30, and in 30 days, man, like I lost 8 pounds, and sometimes people want that miracle, like, oh, I lost 15, 20 pounds. They want the quick fix, but we don't put it on in 30. We don't put all that weight on in 30 days. We can't expect to lose it all in 30 days. Sometimes it takes 2, 3 months and maybe even a year, depending on how much weight you have to lose. So I started adopting this real food mentality, eating only real food sources and things like that. And so there's times, even as a runner, you may think, okay, I ran 10 miles today. I burned 1,100 calories. It's Sunday. It's okay. I can have this pizza and beer. But I want to remind everybody that you can't outrun a bad diet. So it takes consistency, right? Remembering that there's no quick fix, and you can't work your, okay, I went to the gym this morning. It's a New Year's resolution. I'm going to go to the gym more, right? And I'm going to eat healthy. And sometimes we put so many different goals in front of ourselves that, as you talked about with the SMART goals, that if we do something unrealistic, it's not gonna stick. So my thing is start to find out what food groups works for you and what doesn't. The elimination process that I talked about eliminates sugar, grains, and stuff like that. I want to touch on that life expectancy. We are basically digging an early grave for ourselves. And a lot of us, it's not your fault. A lot of us can't control it because the foods are addictive. The marketers are putting stuff on TV that is good to the eye. And if it looks good to the eye, it will move us to go drive to go get that fast food sandwich. And then the chemicals in the fast food sandwich does not register in your brain that you're full. So when you eat that sandwich, your body might be full, but the brain doesn't register it and you want more. Same things with Doritos and Oreos and these type of snacks that we bring into the house. And if we're not careful, you could be eating all day long as well. right? A person wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, have a cup of coffee at 7 a.m. with cream and sugar, maybe a piece of toast, maybe a little cereal or something like that. They eat again. There's a bowl of chocolate candy on the desk at work. You might be eating some of that. You have lunch. You have dinner at home. You have a snack with while you're watching an evening show, and you never give your body time to digest food properly. So between all those insulin spikes, that's why obesity is out of control. 70% of people hospitalized with COVID is due to obesity. It's a shame. It's crazy.
Now, I would have never thought of that before you said that, and it's true. Now that you're saying it to me, because it all depends upon how you treat your body. 70% of people hospitalized with COVID-19, which I hope we start to see dwindle away next year. Not to get off topic, but that's a scary, but yet very thought-provoking statistic.
Yeah. I spoke with my one of my doctors, and also was reading a new book. It was called 2 Meals a Day, and it's basically pretty new because they mentioned COVID in the book, and there's a term, the covicity, right? Covicity. A lot of the diseases that we're facing is based on eating too many times per day, eating too much sugar and carbs and things like that, and it's causing early memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, all these different things, man, that we can actually control with our diet. So what I do for our members, as I said, that we haven't had people gain the COVID-15. Instead, we had Marie Geary lose 70 pounds during the pandemic, right? How? Now, Marie Geary doesn't run. Like I said, you can't outrun a bad diet. So she started walking, and she's always been a walker. But I've seen her walk around the track for 6 months without losing anything. I started for our members. I started at the time it was weekly. Now we do it bi-weekly. We get together over Zoom. It's called a Health Connection Call with coach and friends. And so we get on. I have a health topic, and I get our members' thoughts and feedback. We bring people on too, that's not members. They come check it out. We come sit in for free, hear what we got to say, and see how you can get inspired by it. And every single time I bring something up, whether we talk about emotional eating one week, whether we talk about eliminating clutter out of your home, because then you have more space for what you need to have love for in your life. We talk about, other things besides diet, because our life, stress at work, we can eliminate stress at work or stress in the office. We won't stress eat. And so these topics really has been helping the members keep their mind focused on not just the exercise. That's why with Run to the Best You, I love talking about how it encompasses a lot of things, because when people ask Marie Geary, how did you lose 70 pounds during the pandemic? It's hard for her to put it into one word. It's not, one thing I know she's not going to say, I've been taking a pill, or I've been drinking these shakes, right? And not, again, guys, not to discredit anybody that does that, because once again, I started off that way. But Marie Geary, if she had to talk to you, she'd be like, I walk, I'm on a walking streak that's 700 some days long. She walks. She started off, because I started a streak, she started off 1 mile a day. Now she's up to 3 miles a day. She intermittent fasts like I do, and she cut out candy. Like, now she didn't cut out all the other stuff that I might recommend, but she took some steps, and that's where she is, and she lost 70 pounds. And it's because not only walking, because she didn't get anywhere in 6 months, but it's because of those mindset calls that we have too.
And that's important. Not to get too much on myself, but in the beginning of the pandemic, I had I'm okay now, but something happened. And before that, I would just eat and eat and eat. And I would go, "Ooh, this looks delicious. I'll eat this." And then, you eat until your heart's content. And now, I think finally with COVID, the light went off in my brain. Self, don't eat like that anymore.
No, that's good.
Yeah, like I'm a much better eater than I was. So we've touched on several topics in that last question about how Keep Calm started. Uh, where you are now, like you mentioned, Marie losing 70 pounds, which I think that's just incredible. Congratulations, Marie, if you're watching this. Um, I in the beginning, before we started, you mentioned I do not call these New Year's resolutions. Explain to the people why.
Okay, so I, I I love referring back to some book that I studied. So one of the books that I studied or read was called The 12-Week Year. And the 12-week year really brought our attention to setting goals within like a 3-month period of time, within 12 weeks. Why was that important? They brought up, and I want us to visualize this, like close your eyes for a second and think about what advertisements do you hear throughout the year. It's the 4th of July sale. Come on in, get your car, right? It's the end of the year sale. Come on in, get your deals on your furniture. Black Friday sale. There's all these different, and what happens in these businesses is that they make a lot of money during that time. They're called push periods. So during these push periods, they're very aggressive and very intentional, and they make a lot of money during those time periods. So that illustration is used for us when thinking about New Year's resolutions, right? When reason why they don't work, and I wish we would have sat down and pulled up some notes. I actually did a study on this. Like, people give up on New Year's resolutions within 2 weeks, right? Every week that leaves January 1st, the statistics just go down and down and down, right? And you can see this for yourself. If you go to the gym, it's packed the first week and a half, right? Before February, it's like half of the, it's cut off. In February, it's almost back to normal, right? So what's the point? Just like I say that I don't like when people say, I can't wait till the new year because that year was horrible. Well, nothing really changed. The day on the calendar, it's still the same, right? So the way, instead of thinking about a New Year's resolution where you are going to do all this stuff in 2020 and then lose steam after 3 weeks, what's important is that you set a 3-month goal and you are super narrow focus on that goal for 3 months. Don't set it for the whole year, because what happens is you think you got all this time in the world to get to that goal. Let's say I want to lose 25 pounds and January goes by and then February comes up and you got this party that something came up and, and here's another, holiday that people observe and it's candy involved and stuff like that. There's always a reason why you will fall off from your goal. But if you set it for 3 months, I'm gonna lose 15 pounds in the next 3 months. Listen, I've seen people lose 40 pounds in 3 months, like 36 pounds in 3 months, because they were focused, they were serious. And so you set this 3-month goal and then create, so what is that? January, February, March. Then you got April, May, June. Every 3 months, set something obtainable that you want to achieve. And then guess what? Not just something like, maybe you have a health goal, one health goal with 2 or 3 action steps and one personal goal, family goal, right? We have different aspects in our lives. We have, if you're a spiritual person, you have a spiritual hat that you wear. You're a father or a mother. You're a parent. A lot of times we try to, work on so many things, and sometimes we fail at them all. at them all because we put too much on there. So that book also recommended to set small goals with a couple of action steps that we can make a habit every day. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, and like oh, that makes perfect sense. But it's sad to me that someone could lose steam that quickly. Oh yeah, 3 weeks and the New Year's resolutions out the window. But that Tadris, that makes perfect sense to me now. Well, when I was doing some research on you before today's taping, I was told that you are very motivational and inspirational. How could you inspire someone to join your program?
Well, that's a good question. I wanted to give you 6 steps to having self-discipline before, if you don't mind, right?
No, not at all. Because
Before I go in there, because I do have something really big happening, really big, right?
please
So
promote.
yeah, I'm gonna share that in a second. So 6 steps to self-discipline. Once again, I kind of just told you how to set a attainable goal. Set it for 3 months. Work your tail off, like a push period. Like this is my focus time. And so you need to find a reason, right? Find a reason or reward for changing. Like, why do you want to lose this 20 pounds? Would that help you be a better mom, dad, grandparent, right? We got grandparents out here walking and running. And now, 52-year-old Lisa is able to jog around with her granddaughter who just turned 2. You know what I'm saying? So what is your reason? What is your why? That's number one, right? Protect yourself from yourself. So I'm going to actually be talking about this on my podcast called Keep Kind of Run to the Best You, the podcast. You want to protect yourself from yourself. What does that mean, Jake? That means that if you have a family and you're trying to lose 25 pounds and your family is like, listen, I got to have these chips in the house. I got to have these cookies in the house. Well, guess what? You got to protect yourself from yourself, and you get yourself your own cabinet where you don't have to look at those things. And if you're really bold, right? Because sometimes as parents, we use our kids as an excuse to bring it in the house. Well, what are they going to eat? No. Sometimes we got to protect ourselves from ourselves. So we might have to step into that role and say, listen, you want something sweet? Here's a banana. I'm not buying it at all. But sometimes that's easier said than done. We don't always live in a house by ourselves or can make that call. Sometimes our mate is going to bring stuff into the house. So try to do your best to protect yourself from yourself by removing the temptations from you, right? Number 3, having accountability partners. And once again, that's what Keep Calm and Run to the Best You is all about. Faces for Autism. They are an accountability for parents with children that has disabilities, right? So use your accountability or call someone up and be like, listen, I'm trying to lose this 25 pounds. I got this goal for these next 3 months, and I'm in the mood for some ice cream. And then that accountability partner would be like, why did you say that you want to lose 25 pounds? Well, because I've been feeling real uncomfortable trying to tie my sneaker. Well, is the ice cream going to help you? No. All right, go for a walk or something. You know what I mean? Like, an accountability partner can do that for you. I'm gonna take a break. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea because friends, that accountability will get you a long way. If Tadris will tell you this, I'll tell you this. They cut dry out in the open. If you lose 25, if you want, I should back that up a second. If you want to lose 25 pounds, eating ice cream isn't the way to go. If you eat ice cream, you will probably plus 25 pounds instead of minus 25 pounds. You want to lose the weight, not gain the weight.
Yeah. And that brings me to our next point, self-punishment and self-reward. So when I brought this up on the call with our members, they was like, punishment, man, that doesn't sound right. No, but when we talk about self-punishment, it doesn't mean that you're gonna, beat yourself up about anything. But let's say you had this goal of maybe just writing content for a podcast or doing something spectacular, right? But you wasted the day because other life got in the way, or maybe you were on your phone or social media. The punishment is before you sit down at the end of the night to watch that TV show, you got to spend 30 minutes doing what you were supposed to do. So before you get to do what you want to do, you got to do what you must do, right? So the reward is being able to, there was a guy, Jake, there was a guy who actually attached his computer. He loved Netflix, but he wasn't exercising. The way that the way that he trained himself was he couldn't watch Netflix unless it was attached to his bike. So when he pedaled, that's when the Netflix would play, right? So yeah, that's crazy, right?
Now isn't that creative? And why can't we all be as creative as that guy? Okay, stop pedaling. There goes your TV. Goodbye. Okay,
Yeah,
start pedaling again. Your TV will start.
So the practice, the principle there is like before you do something that you kick back, but you didn't do your exercise a day, right? Get out, do the exercise first, then you get to do what you want to do. Self-reward isn't meaning, and this is where a lot of people fall short, is they will eat, give themselves a license to eat the ice cream because, I gotta lose 25 pounds. I've already lost 10. I've been doing good. I've been exercising. Everybody's going to get ice cream. Let me grab some. And then sometimes that ice cream will spiral you into other habits like, oh man, now I can use some chips, like something salty. I just had something sweet. And then, so a self-reward could be like, once you get those 25 pounds off, then you get that, go to the store and get a nice spandex or something and get yourself a new pair of shoes, something like that. Number 5 is change your identity. Like, some people will refer to themselves as I'm fat. Like I've always been fat, right? If a person is a smoker, they identify themselves as such, but you can start to say, if somebody offers you a cigarette, no, I'm a non-smoker, I'm good, right? If the person was fat all their life, not my words, their words. That's what people refer to themselves as. And someone's offering you something, you're like, no, I have a special goal, right? I'm not that person anymore, or whatever, right? So change your identity. And number 6 was follow through. Like make sure you follow through the whole thing. I can't get any medal if I don't follow through. I got to start the race. I got to finish the race in order to achieve the medal. So follow through, guys. And guys, listen to me really, really closely. You may have a goal of 25 pounds. You might be like, yo, this coach is killing it right now. I'm going to actually do what he's talking about, right? What's easy to do is also easy not to do. But this is what I want you to hear, right? You might have a goal of 25 pounds in 3 months, but something happens, you lose 15. Celebrate every moment. Celebrate that too. Because shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, at least you're among the stars. But if you don't take the shot, you're still here, man, like boom. Let's go out of space, baby. Let's go out in orbit. Let's get these results. What do you think, Jake?
I love it because you get people celebrating just the big victories. No, celebrate the little ones because they may not be what you want, but as I like to say, it's a stepping stone to get yourself to where you want to be.
And sometimes, Jake, like I said, if someone has a goal of 25 pounds, they'll say they like 25 pounds in a year, but they hear this and they say 25 pounds in 3 months. I think I can do that if I focus, right? But you lose 3 pounds, you lose 15 pounds. That's the average of 5 pounds per month that you didn't gain, right? It's easy to gain 5 pounds in a month if you're not careful. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned to me you're having a big event to kick off next year. Let's tell us what are you doing? How can people get involved? How can I help you if you need my assistance?
I definitely can use all the help I possibly can get, man. We're trying to get 100 people on this Zoom call that I'm doing. It's called the 4 most effective solutions to your biggest health challenges. So I can stand here and talk what I'm saying, but it's not easy to do it on your own. So I did a poll. The number one thing that holds people back from getting to their result is mindset. And so therefore that's one thing, right? And so we're going to help people break through those barriers. And you don't have to do it alone. You can get the help from coach. You can get the help from our other members like Chris Ballard, Lisa Diaz, Jessica Young, Marie Geary, Hunter, right? Our members take on the same personality I got. Like we're attracting some people that love to help each other. And so my presentation will be Monday, January 3rd at 10 a.m. Now, we picked that date because it was the holiday weekend, but a lot of people may have off for a Friday, right? They might have off for New Year's Eve instead of that Monday. Listen to me. I'm going to share the link with you for people to register. But what I'm going to do, I really want a lot of people on that 10 a.m. call. But if you have to work, I will do the presentation again at 6 p.m. for those that can't make it. And we're going to talk about the 4 biggest solutions, the 4 most effective solutions to your biggest health challenges. I know what those health challenges are. We're going to talk about it on the call, and we're going to give you solutions to how to overcome them.
I will please, you can send that to me personally in an email. I will be there at the 10 a.m. Class if I'm not doing anything, because we're not trying to sound like the doctors that are on TV. Friends, if you want to make changes in your life, Tadris is here. I'm here. You can do it. It's all in the mindset. Wake up tomorrow morning, January 1st. How can I get my hair off to the way I want it to be? I can't tell you what to do. Tadris can't tell you what to do. It's all about you. What do you want to do? So there's that, and final thoughts, and I'll have you give your contact information.
Okay, so I wanted to pull up this, if I can, favorites. Let me show you guys Marie Geary. I realized we were on Zoom. We're not just on a podcast. That's Marie Geary, brother.
And I know Marie. Okay, yeah, that's. But if you can see that, the left side is Marie before, and the right side is Marie after. Wow! Right. Wow! What
School teacher getting ready to retire in June. Okay, she's getting ready to retire in June. Do you think she want to live a life after retiring? Of course she does. Right?
Wow.
So life isn't over just because you're getting ready to turn 60 or you're over 60. This is a woman that's been taking the charge of her life. And I want to share this last thing too. So I have gotten the privilege to sit on the board of Atlantic City Marathon Series. This medal right here is called the Triple Threat. So if you want to really, really focus on your goals in 2022, right? Our members, we train for these events. The reason why it's called Triple Threat, we earned a medal for each one. We did a half marathon, a 10K, a 5K. If you do 3 races in the calendar year, it earns you the Triple Threat. So you see how I talked about setting 3-month goals for 3 months at a time? You can use the Keep Count and Run to the Best You program to get you there, right? And so the last big announcement is we partner with Atlantic City Marathon Series, and mid-January, we're going to start training a group for the April race. And that's how our members continue to roll things over and get to the best shape of their lives. I want to thank you so much for having me on today's show.
Thank you.
Last face that everyone sees. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. And if people would like to go to Tadris' program on Monday, January 3rd at 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. Tadris, that's on Zoom. Are you going to Zoom it?
We have a Zoom link. I'm gonna send you an email. I sent one email to Isabel, right? I'm gonna send that same email to you that you can blast out to everybody, right? It has the link in there for people have to register for it, and when they register for it, they will get an automatic email to them with the Zoom link and everything like that. I'm really excited for it. If anybody wants to reach out to me personally, you can do that as well. Our website is runtothebestyou.com. You can also shoot me a text. I'm available, 609-418-9488. Say, listen, I listened to your show with Jake, and I would like some information ASAP, because maybe, guys, you might hear this, right? This is coming out, right? You might hear this Friday night and be like, I need something before January 3rd. Like, I'm really interested in this. I'll text you right back, right? Our crew is actually running a race on, tomorrow. We're running on January 1st, 1 p.m. in the Ocean City. See, that's what I'm talking about. We always working towards our goals, man. My last motivation quote before I wrap this up.
Yes.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. Let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives, baby.
Yeah, you got it. But if that doesn't put you, friends, if that does not put you on a good start for 2022 in a matter of 7 hours and change, I don't know what will. Uh, do you have Tadris' information? I will post the Zoom link on our Faces wall. If anyone needs Tadris' contact information, I have it. Please reach out. Tadris, thank you. Hold on, don't go anywhere.